This is a cool little upper receiver. This is made by R&D Precision. This is the PW9 version 2. This particular one I got from my friends at Rainier, and they have it available. We'll have links in the description to our website where you can read about more info. You'll have the specs, all that other stuff. I'd rather not waste time reading specs. I kind of want to tell you more about what I liked, how it shot, all that other stuff, things that you can't read off the webpage. But as far as pricing and availability, since we're talking about that, we'll just get it right out of the way up front. Rainier, a little over $600 street price, and it fits on most lowers, PCC lowers, with one caveat, which we'll talk about here in a second when I take it down. But I have to say, when I first got this, I didn't know quite what to expect because it had kind of this built-in hand guard on the rail. And it kind of looked, you know, maybe a little futuristic-like, but it's actually really comfortable to hang on to. And there was other features that I really liked all about it, particularly in bufferless. It is a self-contained upper, and then it comes with this rail adapter. So I guess we'll kind of start a little bit from fresh. It does fit pretty much any lower receiver, and then it comes with this rail adapter piece. This rail adapter then attaches to your lower. What's cool about the rail adapter is it does have a QD socket at the bottom, so you have to get it installed, even if you're using a foldable stock for an SBR or a brace like I have here, because this is a pistol. But it does have a QD socket right there to attach a sling, and then on the handguard it does have mirrored QD sockets as well. So once you get it together, then it's all self-contained. So the gun can actually function and fire from the folded position if you wanted it to, so that's kind of cool. So what I liked about it, number one, being that it's self-contained, there's no charging handle or anything like that. I didn't get a chance to shoot this one suppressed, but I didn't feel any pressure or anything like that. It was very pleasant in that regard, and I think this model kind of design would yield itself to suppressed. Overall, it kind of came together just as a nice compact package, and it was pretty fun to shoot. It was a cool overall self-contained upper receiver. Controls, it does have a reversible charging handle. I particularly like it on the left side because as a right-handed shooter, I can manipulate it this way, but it's very easy to manipulate and it's non-reciprocating. And you could still mount like a tape switch or a button or something like that on there and it wouldn't interfere as well. But you can reverse this. Built-in hand stop on the bottom, and we already talked about the QD sockets. As far as takedown, you're gonna remove your pins, but then you're actually, once you have those pins, you're gonna kind of slide it forward, and you'll notice that the recoil spring is here. Now, one thing I do want to point out is you do need to make sure that your lower receiver does have the cut in the back. Some people call this a shelf, some people call it a sear cut, whatever it might be. But because we do have to install the upper because of the guide rod and spring, or actually mainly just the recoil spring, how it has to engage, you do have to slide the upper back slightly into position. So you do need to make sure it has that cut down there to allow the upper to be assembled. So this is your lower receiver. This is the piece here. It does have a spring-loaded buffer type piece here, and this basically just acts as that ultimate stop. This particular spring is much more strong than the recoil spring, so as the carrier does cycle, it uses this as its basically final buffer. But yeah, overall, really easy to install the rail adapter piece. It does have a 1913 rail in the back, so then you can install the stock or brace of your choice. So pretty simple to get the lower ready to go. But what I really want to talk about is the upper and kind of what's going on here. So pretty cool. This is the carrier, and then it does have a short guide rod and then a recoil spring. Recoil springs are available, so in case you wear it out, no big deal, and it just kind of goes in like so. But a very simple, pretty easy to care for and maintain carrier. It does have your extractor, firing pin, everything like this, so you can take this apart for cleaning, lubricate this, and then it goes, basically right into the upper receiver. And it's all a self-contained unit. No dust cover, nothing to worry about there. Large ejection port. I had no issues with function or ejection or anything like that. I was running mine with a 1/4 circle 10 Glock mag lower, and what's cool with Glock mags, the upper, everything like that, is I did have bolt lock back. So as I had a Glock mag, that would engage the stop, and that would then hold the bolt back on this upper, so I could then use the bolt catch, or I could use the charging handle to run the gun after I did my reload. So compatible with my particular lower. This is actually the only 9mm PCC lower I have, so I didn't get a chance to test it with anything else. But this 1/4 circle Glock mag lower, it worked just fine. Like I said, no other things to really note about the carrier. It's pretty simple blowback design. It worked really well. Machining does have kind of some of these stylized cuts here. Has a top Picatinny rail to mount your optics, whatever it might be. But overall, the upper looks pretty good. I also liked the large bolt catch machining pocket there. I don't have a oversized bolt release on that particular lower, but this looks like it has room for pretty much most of the aftermarket ones on there, whether it be forward controls, Geisley, whatever it might be. I'm pretty much migrating all my stuff to forward controls bolt catches, so that would fit on here, no problem. And then again, moving forward, we have a 5-inch barrel, 6-inch handguard, and it does have this compensator, which is also kind of machined angularly to match kind of the style and the look of the handguard and the upper receiver. Now, the one thing I would love to see, because it's probably kind of tough to see on camera, is that it is actually threaded back to here. So this compensator has like a sleeved portion before we get to the venting of the compensator, and the barrel is a little bit shorter. What I would love to see is no compensator and give me something I can put a suppressor on. So like a suppressed ready version with a threaded barrel, or better yet, a 3-lug adapter, because pretty much all my 9mm rifle or PCC cans are 3-lug. The only other thing that I noticed when I got my first impression or unboxing is that the handguard being anodized did require a little bit of lubrication for this track right here where the charging handle goes. When I first got it, it was dry, and I noticed that had a little bit of that grit on grit feel, but a little bit of lubrication, some break-in as I was running this, and it smoothed right out. But again, first impression, I kind of got a little bit of that rough feeling when I was cycling it, but put a little lube on there, both sides, run it a few times, run the gun, go to the range, and now it's smooth and it's just fine. I didn't do any hardcore accuracy testing, but I did put an 8-inch piece of steel at 50 yards, and I had no problem hitting that after I zeroed my Holosun red dot, even though this technically is a green dot. But once I got this thing zeroed, like I said, I was hitting the 8-inch plate 50 yards, no problem. I really didn't see any issues with the machining, the quality of materials, the finish, anything like that. Basically, after I got done assembling it, I lubricated it, and I pretty much headed out to the range and put about 400 rounds through it for this video to kind of get an idea of how the thing ran, and it was flawless. It ran perfect. Variety of ammo from 115, 124, and 147 grain, just various 9mm that I have laying around. Thing shot and cycled, everything just fine. The only issue I did have when I was doing mag testing, factory Glock mags ran just fine. Magpul mags ran just fine. My one KCI 33 round mag, I did have one fail to lock back. It fed and functioned just fine, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's that catch or whatever interface with the follower, but it did not lock back with that particular magazine. But otherwise, no issues to report whatsoever at the range. It was just fun to shoot. Pretty fun, simple little upper receiver for not too much money. For more information, check out our website, gunsandtactics.com. Then you can search for R&D PW9. I'll have links to our webpage in the description, but definitely kind of cool to check out. If you guys like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you as a part of our community. And as we get to our 100,000 subscribers, we're gonna have a pretty awesome giveaway. Now, if you have any questions about this or anything firearms related, you can certainly leave a comment. I try to my best to interact with as many comments as I can, but it's best to send an email to the email address shown below. That's the QA@gunsandtactics.com. And at the end of the month, we answer your questions. It's the last Monday of the month, 2 p.m. Central. We have a live show on YouTube, and we answer our questions. We go from there, we give away prizes. It's a good time. If you want to support the channel, the best way is to either do a super thanks on YouTube, or you can head on over to our Patreon page and you can engage with us there. And as the Patreon community grows, we're going to have more benefits. But right now, we're just starting out, but any support would genuinely be appreciated. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great day.